Hello and welcome. These Huckleberry gift tags were inspired by last weekend's huckleberry picking. We love to eat huckleberries and we love to give little huckleberry products as gifts. These little tags make the perfect topper for gift bags. And a little jar of homemade huckleberry jam makes the perfect thank you hostess gift. So I made the huckleberries in two different ways. This way shown was made just using two different sizes of hole punch, and the smaller one was a dark purple cardstock, and the berry body itself was made using some distress inks in different shades of purple. Using this method, I was also able to really utilize the actual die, as some of those berries were already just attached using that holly twig die from the Poppy Stamps new release. So I did cut out several of each of the holly twigs, and I needed to replace the holly leaves with huckleberry leaves, so I used the viola leaves die, also from Poppy Stamps. I doubled up and glued two of each together so that there would be extra dimension there. And I did the same for the leaves, although the leaves, do look good just singly as well. You can see that in the two examples that I show. But for this example, I did double them up, and then I just started coloring them. Now, huckleberry leaves, it's funny because the leaves will look like they're, already dying. They're already turning. Many were green, but just a few here and there had the red and yellows in them, and they were so beautiful. So less is more here, and I just started, just going around the edge just a tiny bit with the rusty hinge. And then you'll see me here in the video also splatter the leaves with the rusty hinge as well. It just kind of added some spots that I noticed while we were out picking. To make the berries, I started off with some 80-pound white cardstock and layered two colors of distress inks, topping it with a distress oxide ink. I did this so that when water was added, it would make a beautiful little berry bottom ring. And so that's how I did that, and then I just simply cut them out with a hole punch to be glued over top of what the die already offers, and some extras here and there. The crystal katana came in handy for holding down the little berries as I put the water on them. I kept my paintbrush really wet so it was a really good drop of water, and then I just let the water do its work with the inks on there. I didn't have to try to manipulate it or try to shape it or anything. Just pretty much a drop of water and then let it spread. While the berries were drying, I used the nested die set pinpoint Main Street tags to create two different frames that would fit within each other. I made two of each so that I could glue them together for some extra sturdiness for the tag and set them under weight to dry. I used kind of a vanilla rather than a stark white for the back of the tag, and I spritzed it with just a little bit of that distress oxide ink. It kind of resembled huckleberry juice, which I thought would be a cute addition. Again, less was more here. I didn't want a whole bunch of splattering, just a little bit. I came in with a little bit more than what you saw me do there, but again, I didn't want a whole bunch. And because I love to give Huckleberry gifts as thank yous, I decided to make this a thank you tag to attach to a little gift bag. So with that, I used two different shades of the purple and then stacked them. It added extra dimension, but it also added a cute little shadow to the back of the letters. So there were a total of 3 layers to this, 2 of the dark purple and then 1 of the light purple to create that shadow. Next, I glued the outside frames onto the base. And these frames are not glued together here or taped together. They just kind of fit within each other because those dies are made to be nested anyway. And then I just placed it under some weight to dry. Next, I just needed to remove the holly leaves so that I could replace it with the viola leaves. So I just trimmed them off of each branch, and then I placed them and glued them where I wanted them. Next was time to place the leaves, and there was no rhyme or reason here. I just kind of started off with the ones with the red edging and placed those kind of balanced out a little bit so that they wouldn't wind up all in one spot, although they could have been and it would have been cute. There's really no rules here. I just kind of wanted the color balance, so I started off with those and then filled in with the rest of the green leaves. Next, I placed another piece of the vanilla cardstock behind so that I could create kind of a swinging card panel behind the tag for some words. And I did this by using the We Are Memory Keepers eyelet punch. And I just punched a hole, inserted the eyelet, and then put the little end into the eyelet, squeezed the tool, and it was a perfect eyelet. I used to be really intimidated by tools like this, but it just couldn't be easier, and what a great difference it makes to have a nice little professional swing out card. I attached the ribbon with hot glue, and I attached the ends down. They're going to be hidden by the bow, and I may cut the top to tie it onto something in the future, but I just wanted to leave my options open in the meantime until I knew exactly where this tag was going to end up. So it could be a door hanger or it could be tied onto something if I cut the top of the ribbon. And then I just glued the bow on top to kind of hide the ends there. And I also hot glued a little Swarovski crystal on top just for that extra staying power. I wanted to use the hot glue. But the crystal I used is really pretty. It's got kind of a lavender cast with a green in it, and I just thought that that matched perfectly and added just that tiny bit of sparkle. So there you have it. That is how I made the lavender tag card, and I just love how these turned out. And most of all, I love being able just to give a simple little gift with something handmade, and it just makes such a difference to thank people. Have a great day and see you soon. Thanks for watching.